Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. I want to thank all of our listeners from all over the world. Please do subscribe and share if you're not already. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, there is absolutely no way to transition with, and keep people from dying of poverty without a universal basic income. That's what makes the transition to a world without any sort of monetary needs.
Agreed, 100%. Dude, your voice sounds familiar. The more I hear your voice, the more it sounds familiar.
There are several new parties trying to start up from what I'm hearing. I am not interested because I'm telling you, autism gets rid of the problems that they're presenting. Look, you're telling people to stop participating in the system, stop letting them control things, but then here, get involved and do like the Romans do. Hello? I'm sorry, but I disagree here. You're right about before. We were in agreement completely. But now I gotta disagree. I don't think so. I'm not gonna do as the Romans do. I'm not building a party. I'm gonna ignore the system and I'm gonna work on my own self-sufficiency and I'm gonna encourage every other individual in the masses to do so.
Totally.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to do it, and I got nothing negative to say about that at all. I think that's easier done for some people than others. Some people are kind of stuck in the quote unquote matrix or whatever. They're just gonna, the hand to mouthers. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do in the moment. But it's up to us that have a little bit more leeway, to forge this path, to have these conversations, to come up with these ideas, and it might sound like we're in disagreement right now, but I really don't think we are, brother. We might have hit one point of contention or something, but I didn't feel it. So I think it's really about just having the conversation and seeing what works and figuring out a path forward. But so many aspects of every aspect of our society has to change. Really, every fucking single one.
I do not have more leeway, my friend. Trust me. I'm at the bottom here. I'm scraping together trying to make things work from nowhere. But that's how it's done.
That's what I meant. I'm speaking of my own condition and my own situation, and I always try to come from that place. So, if I seem like I'm telling you what you ought to be doing, please ask, because 90% of the time that's not the case. And if I am, I want to check me on it, call me on it. But 90% of the time, that's not going to be the case. But no pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. We don't do peer pressure up in this joint.
You come as you are.
Come as you are. We respect our non-smoking friends as much as we re-smoke our heavy token friends.
Yeah.
I call her Mary Jane.
That's my song right there. That's like Half Baked. That's one of my favorite movies.
Last dance with Mary Jane. One more time to feel the pain.
Okay, Dave. Yes. That's
I feel summer creeping in, and I'm tired of this town again. What other Mary Jane songs we got?
That is a shit right there.
And then there's some metal shit that's awesome, but I'll sing it mellow. Right? Isn't that? That's Bye Bye Miss American Pie, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a parody. It's an MJ parody. Damn you, an MJ parody.
Okay, fuck, I love parodies. Weird Al Yankovic. I was thinking I could do something like that called like Weird Dave Spanks His Dick, or I don't know, whatever. Weird Dave, maybe just weird. Leave out the whole Weird Dave, maybe.
This'll be the day I got high. This'll be the day I got high.
I like that
Oh,
one.
fuck. Oh, you nailed that one, dog. You nailed that one.
Yes.
Can I make that like my, I want that to be my ringtone.
I found a reason for me to wash my hands after I pee. A reason to wipe when I poo. And the reason is you.
Oh, shit. Oh, oh, you're fucking killing me right now. That is rich. I got an Alanis Morissette parody. You want to hear it? You've already bent me over. You're inside of me. Don't be alarmed when you see my elbows behind my knees.
And I'm baking the rabbit tonight. That's right, I'm baking the rabbit tonight. I'm being too loud. My roommate is yelling at me.
Oh my fucking god, he's good. Baking the rabbit tonight. I'm basting in the sauce, but it's not even dead. I'm holding it down by its fucking head. I'm basting the rabbit tonight. Sorry, roommates. Oh my god, he got me going. Wind me up, watch me go. Wop wop, wop wop. We got some people in the house. Who's up? Who's up in here? I'm basting the rabbit tonight. Nikki baby 23 still listening in the house. What's up? I haven't heard from you in a minute.
So I come to you with broken arms, right back to you after you're done beating me. Broken arms.
Oh, oh, that's awesome. That's like the reverse, like, like his wife's beating him. So that makes it funny, right? Because if it was about like wife beating, then that would not be funny at all, right? That'd be horrible, right? But funny because he's a dude saying, eh, beating me. Oh shit, Bajilic, you're killing me, dog. Keep it coming, keep it coming. You're firing me up. And the creative juices are starting to go. I'm oh my goodness, I better just pull one of these. Let me think about inspiration. Miss Dimples?
So these are all originals, and I really don't have a very long list. I'm trying to think if I have any more. I think I might have hit them all.
Oh dude, no, you're killing me. Like, yeah, exactly. Like let's just improv it. Let's keep it going here. What else can we think of here?
What do you call a blind German?
A blind German. Stumbleline? Das Stumbleline? I don't know. That's a good one. What do you call a blind German? What do you call an Irishman passed out over a coffee table? Irish yoga.
Not see.
Not see. It's not see. No, it's no bueno. See, see, no, no. ¿Por qué sí? ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué sí? ¿Por qué? Uh-oh, I think we lost Miss Dimples. Miss Dimples! She'll be back. She'll be back. Who else we got in the house? Nick Baby, we got Vigilik, and we got Everett Kreiser. Cool. Everett Kreiser, how you doing?
Lesson to self. Include punchline in joke in message with precursor to punchline. What do you call that part of the joke? The prefix? No, I don't know.
I don't know. Would that be the body? I don't know. Good question. Yeah, you get the punchline, and then you get the what? The build up. The build up. Is it the build up? Or the body? I don't know. Bill Burr, are you listening? Help us out. What do you call that part of the joke?
Let's do spirituality. Can we do spirituality?
Hey, can we go there? Can we go to spirituality? Let's take an elevator to spirituality. Whoop, 7th floor. Going up.
Yeah, I just said that. The body. I just said that to myself while I was listening to myself.
So, spirituality, big fan. Big fan of meditation. Big fan of psychedelics. Big fan of nature. I find that I am immersed in my spirituality when I am in nature. And what helped me see this were psychedelics. One experience in specific, I had this epiphany where I'm no better or worse than a blade of grass, and I kind of bonded with this little patch of grass that was right next to me on a mountaintop. Um, and that's never really left. I've had some of the deepest connections I've had in my life have been in nature and with animals. Um, yeah, some profound experiences for sure. I was lucky enough to rescue a little baby duck once. Might have been the best thing I've ever done in the world. Reunited it with a different family, and it was accepted. Swam right up, and the mother looked at it for a minute, like, "You're not mine, but jump in line, whatever." I was like, "Yes, score, mission accomplished." But yeah, who we got on the line? Chime in, people. What is your spirituality about?
That's about as honest a personal spirituality testimony I've ever heard.
Why, thank you. I try to be honest, if nothing else. I'm honest. One time on Salvia, I saw the end of the world, which really freaked me out and made me want to unite people. And in hindsight, that's kind of like maybe that's why I started my podcast and everything, which is all about just sharing documentaries and trying to educate people as to how we've been divided and conquered and who has done the dividing and conquering and how it's been going on for 100 years. Yeah.
I like that there's no claim to knowing God or karma or an afterlife existence or anything, higher power other than just nature. Because nature's what you know is there, and it's where you came from, one way or another. So why not just focus on what you can be sure of, and leave the space where you put your fake answers as a void. Leave it empty. Let it wait until there's solid answers that can be put there. That to me is honest spirituality.
Agreed, brother. Agreed. I mean, who doesn't have questions, right? But that's questions, you know. But I can go sit by a babbling brook. Today I rode my mountain bike by a stream. I heard the stream burbling under this bridge. I was like, "Rrrt." I had to stop. I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking soul food right there. And I did, and it was just like, just like, oh my god, so cleansing, such a breath of fresh air. Just 5 seconds of a pause on a bicycle ride over a babbling brook. Just oh my god. So we need that. We need nature. And exactly, it's where we come from. And like the whole, I'm going off on a tangent here, but the whole term tree hugger just pisses me off so much. Or those fucking environmentalists. Yeah, because like we don't need the environment. Really? Like, okay, try living without oxygen. Try breathing without air. You know, try drinking toxic water. Try living without clean, drinkable water. Simple things like, oh my God. But once again, all brainwashing from corporations, divide and conquer tactics, trickle down theory, all that.
Yeah, so like the oneness with the patch of grass, the bond with the patch of grass, that sense of oneness that we get from spirituality from every angle. There's no reason to question the reality of it because we can't tangibly test the reality of it. And it's not the reality of it that matters. It's the sense, it's the thing that makes us loving, peaceful, harmonious beings. That's a good thing, and we should love it and focus on it. And we don't need to make anything up about it.
Yeah, straight up. Straight up. Time in nature makes you a better person.
You goddamn godless tree hugging hippies. You better pick up a Bible before it's too late. Because God, Jesus, is the one and only. Jesus is the Holy Trinity.
Okay.
Jesus is love. Jesus is life.
Jesus was the original hippie, for sure. I call him the OH, the original hippie, like the OG, like an original gangster. Jesus was the OH. He's the original hippie. Smoking weed, drinking wine, hanging out with hookers and gay dudes, and didn't give a fuck. He accepted everybody and was teaching loving kindness and acceptance. And somehow, the telephone game. So you sit in a room with 20 people and you say the same word in person's ear. By the time it gets back around to you, it's changed quite a bit. So, yeah, he started preaching loving kindness and acceptance. And now we got people using religion for oppression and division and all these things. But that's religion, right? So that's the huge difference between religion and spirituality. Because spirituality is an inside game, right? It's people don't talk about their spirituality unless you ask them, but they don't go try to sell it, you know. you know, there's no Bible on individual spirituality, right? It's an inside job, and it goes back to the whole thing of like, you separate church and state, you separate that shit because otherwise it just becomes a power mechanism.
Jesus told you not to wash your hands. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jeebus. Oh, Jeebus. My father was a minister, so I'm a preacher's kid. So yeah, so I studied every religion, and yeah, Buddhism and Satanism make the most sense. So they both basically kind of say the same thing. Buddhism's a little kinder. Satanism's like, fuck other people, but don't, you don't hurt them, but just do whatever the fuck you're gonna do, but fuck other people. And Buddhism is like, you should be compassionate and empathetic about all beings and creatures. So, yeah, somewhere in between those two, yeah, for sure. But nature is everything, because what do we, well, let's just call it, what do we have without nature, right? What do we have without nature? Nothing. We don't have breathable air and we don't have drinkable water. So it's time to check ourselves, right? It's time to check ourselves because we're living totally out of harmony with Earth and we're killing the vehicle that sustains our very life. You know, I just posted this image on Facebook the other day of an astronaut just floating in space. You can't, they're not even tied to anything. So they must be doing a free fall or I don't know, but just floating in space over the Earth. And it's one of those harrowing images where you're like, wow, that, yep, I got to get down there to be alive. It's the only place that we know of. The only fucking place we know of that will keep us alive, that provides everything we need. And we're fucking it up. And we're fucking it up. We're letting certain people fuck it up for greed and profit, right? So we're being brainwashed into letting our government tell us we need to bring democracy in the form of a bomb to some country somewhere. And what they're really doing is making money, opening markets for corporations, right? So the people die in these wars, the people's taxes pay for these wars, but the corporations are the ones that make the benefit, and the people don't see any benefit at all. Like our veterans are getting shit on. 21 Iraqi veterans, like veterans of the Iraq War, 21 a day are committing suicide. It's the highest rate of, death in the United States in one segment. It's harrowing, right? Unbelievable, unprecedented, and it's got to stop. Yeah, unbelievable.
You speak for yourself, man. Hopefully some of us aren't being brainwashed. So I'm raising rabbits. And I do have a robot garden, but I haven't quite built it yet. I gotta put it together. It's a lot of work and a lot of learning to do it. So yeah, it's not easy. It takes effort. And that's why it hasn't been done. That's where our problem is. Humans are lazy. They don't even want to try. Just want to lay back and shop at Walmart. It's funny, I went to Occupy Wall Street down in Oakland, and these guys are hilarious. They're drinking a Pepsi with one hand, and they got their thumb in the air, pointed downward in the other hand. They're talking about down with the 1% while they're drinking a Pepsi. People would rather just bitch and moan nonsensically while sucking the titty of the one they're bitching and moaning at. Biting the hand that feeds them and stuff, when they could be just feeding themselves and not worrying about that hand.
I think you're so right, dude. I couldn't agree more. We need to bring back unions and even more, to take unions to the next step, to have like neighborhood coalitions to get together and talk about, like, hey, okay, so what crops are you growing in your backyard? Okay, you're growing a fuck ton of onions. Okay, you're doing onions and garlic. Okay, you got that covered. Okay, Bob, you're doing lettuce. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do tomatoes. Okay, sweet. Right? You do like a neighborhood coalition. Exactly, and we can supersede these oppressive systems by designing our own systems that make them irrelevant. So I love where you're going with that, Vigilic, because What the fuck is more rebellious than that? Fuck fighting them. Put that energy into tilling a field and growing food and making them irrelevant, right? Bam. What's the saying? Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. Teach a man to farm. Teach a man to farm.
I don't know, dude. Unions are for labor forces, right? Is there another purpose? Because we're talking about an automated world where there's no labor force. People don't have to do that anymore. If you want to make a chair, make a chair. If you want to make clothes by hand, someone wants those clothes made by hand. But there's no reason for them to pay for it because they can give you something they're doing. And, it's just like, I don't know. I guess it's hard to really grasp the entirely different world it would be. That there would be no need for unions because there's no labor, not human labor.
Yeah, I guess that's a little hard for me to grasp just because it's so far from where we're at right now, I love the vision, but yeah. I guess maybe I'm just trying to bridge how do we get there kind of thing, right? So maybe that's where I was coming from is how do we get there, right? Because you have these oppressive systems and your government's giving away all this money to these corporations right now where where they could, instead of giving subsidies and grants to corporations, they could, and tax benefits and tax breaks, they could be giving that to startups for local community co-op farms, but that's not going to happen, right? So let's get real. But yeah, I don't know what happened to Miss Dimples. Her phone must have died. But Mr. Vigilic, I'm loving talking with you. You birds right here. Anything else on your mind? What you thinking about? I'm kind of fading a little bit, but enjoying the conversation, and would love to keep it going. If you got anything else on your mind, let me know.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not sure how unions might come into the transition. I suppose there's definitely some thought to be done there. But I mean, it's not like anybody's going to try to really carry this transition out on the upper levels. This is something that individuals have to grassroots do independently on their own. People have to decide to change their priorities to things that actually matter. The Kardashians ain't going to cut it. But, what are the chances? How do you get that to happen? How do you change so many minds? I don't know. I mean, I can only tell a few people, and most people don't get it and aren't interested, and they're scared of Skynet. And a few people get it, but they kind of already got it, and there's nothing they can do any more than I can. But we just got to do our own and encourage others to do their own.
Right. That's it. That's it. We can only do what we can do in this moment. But hey, even doing what we're doing right now, with talking with each other, that helps, I think. It helps me to hear you and your ideas. That gives me confidence that somebody else is thinking along the same lines, you know. Doesn't make me feel like I'm an island out here. So, if nothing else, we can support each other and help each other come up with techniques and how to bridge this gap from where we are, which is so fucked up and so out of touch with nature, to where we need to be, which is more in sync with nature, regenerative farming and living in harmony with the planet.
and breaking down these oppressive financial systems that are based on debt, that are solely based on debt, and debt equals oppression. So our whole financial system is based on debt. And once you see that, the fiat currency system and the petrodollar and all this shit, it just becomes so evident that this, it's a total house of cards. Our military is the only thing propping it up. And so how long is that going to be able to be maintained, right? How did Rome die? They spread themselves too thin, couldn't defend their territory. Well, the U.S. has 1,000 military bases over the world now, so we're spread pretty thin, and it's anybody's guess how long we can defend the outermost reaches of our quote-unquote territories, right? So, well, on that note, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up. Been an awesome night, and thanks for tuning in.
All right, thanks for tuning into another episode and Another Thing with Dave. Please follow, subscribe, and share. I'm on all social media and Another Thing with Dave. And keep seeking the truth.